before we open this, if it's gold or diamonds, I think it's pretty clear my father meant for me to have them.
And if poison gas should come out and kill us, I just want to tell you that I was the one who carved Dean's name into the bathroom door.
Thanks, Hank.
I love you, Dean.
Okay, Billy?
Orb is the 11th episode of Season 3. It first aired on August 10th, 2008, and was written by Doc Hammer. In it, Dr. Venture and Billy Quizboy team up to follow a series of clues leading to a mysterious invention, the Orb. Meanwhile, Brock has his own set of orders to follow regarding the Orb. The Earl that Billy finds coded into the Rusty Venture show leads to Maplook. While this is painfully obvious to me, if you're even a couple years younger than me, it's very likely you don't remember Mapquest, which is where you used to go to print out directions before Google Maps completely took over the world. While digging up Brock's herb garden, they find one of Dean's old Pogs and the ancient Gear Fist Yu-Gi-Oh card. If you're like me, you have no idea what an ancient Gear Fist is, so here you go. I'm not going to get super detailed here, but this episode features a bunch of historical figures, including Samuel Clemens, aka Mark Twain, author, Oscar Wilde, playwright and poet, Aleister Crowley, occultist, and Eugene Sandow, strongman turned chocolatier, who in the Ventureverse was a bodyguard to Colonel Lloyd Venture. Brock is slightly confused about whether his car was terminating him, as in killing him, or firing him from the OSI. Doc goes into a bit of detail in the DVD audio commentary.
All right, so technically Brock, who has access level 8 in the box, receives something that gives him a new access level, which is level 10, and the car decides he's terminated. Brock is confused, as are the viewers.
While Dr. Venture pretends to change Billy's diaper, Billy says,
This is how we lost George Michael.
If you didn't know, George Michael got in trouble when he was caught performing lewd sex acts in a men's restroom with another man. Brock being protective of his herb garden first came up back in Season 2's Fallen Arches.
I gotta go deal with this. They're landed in my herb garden.
This episode marks the first appearance of Colonel Lloyd Venture, the great-great-grandfather of Hank and Dean. And while Phantomas has previously been referenced by his grandson Phantom Limb back in The Invisible Hand of Fate, this is his first time appearing as a fully animated character. Brock's mission, codenamed Operation Rusty's Blanket, was first referenced back in Season 2's Assassinati 911.
The agency thanks you for taking this hiatus from Operation Rusty's Blanket. This is the Standard Office of Secret Intelligence Field Kit.
This is the first time we hear Kano speak, and at the same time find out that his reason for not speaking is that he took a vow of silence after killing a great man. The audience is meant to assume that that great man is Jonas Venture Sr. This is also the first we hear of the alchemist's guy troubles. It's a bit of a running gag for a while that Al always dates really crappy dudes. We finally get to see Billy Quizboy's costume after it was first referenced back in Escape to the House of Mummies Part 2.
Our own arch enemy. We have arrived.
I'm gonna change into my Quizboy costume.
Very briefly, I just want to say that in this episode, Hank admits to carving Dean's name in the bathroom door, and I don't know how universal of a phenomenon this truly is, but my sister carved my name in my dresser and only admitted to it as an adult, so this line really got me. Aside from that, this episode is great. The Ventureverse is made so much deeper because of this episode, but the thing that I like the most about this episode is that Dr. Venture makes the choice not to activate the orb, making Dr. Venture a slightly more decent guy. Rewatching the show for the millionth time to make these videos, I was really struck for the first time by just how much of a shithead early Dr. Venture is. Typically when I decide to rewatch the show, it's a binge, but rewatching the show for these videos has meant watching one episode a week, and therefore spending more time with the earlier versions of characters rather than racing to the point where they're fully realized. Don't get me wrong, Dr. Venture's still a shithead, but he's not the same shithead that would harvest the body of an orphan for machine parts. There's something about this line that brings me so much joy.
It's the old stuff, Billy. I'm feeling it again.
I can't explain it, but there's something so lovely to me about seeing a typically above-it-all character finally get a little excited about something. It truly warms my heart. I love a slightly redeemable Dr. Venture, and I love the Venture Brothers. As always, thank you for watching, and go Team Venture. Tune in next week for The Family That Slays Together Stays Together Part 1. If you dug this video, share it with a friend, and if there was some huge glaring thing that I missed in this video, follow me on Instagram at VentureverseGuide to see these videos a week early and offer your input before I upload the final product.